and I mean that literally, guys. This might be a strange video coming from me, but I'm doing this one for a reason. This is going to be a video, guys, stop it, for advice to particularly men over 50. Capone, Kitty, stop. Come on, stop. Of course, they decide to play now. Stop. Kitty, Capone, stop. Oh, God. Anyway, um, this is advice for men, particularly over 50, when it comes to dating after divorce, or if you were in a, like, say, a lifelong relationship. And I'm doing this because I had a man who contacted me, guys, who contacted me telling me he was having trouble dating. Couldn't seem to find somebody. And then I told, oh, just a minute, stop, stop. Of all the times you decide to play, it's now. Go, go. He was telling me that he was having trouble, and I asked him, what he kind of did on dates. Well, first of all, let me say, what I want to say to you men out there, and I can't believe this. Stop it! Down! Go, go. What I want to say to you men out there, and this kind of applies, I guess, all ages really, but particularly the reason I'm doing men over 50 is because, or maybe even their 40s, is your children are grown and gone, you're divorced. And the mistakes you guys make is, number one, women do not want to hear about everything in life that you did with your ex-wife, okay? We don't want to sit there and listen, well, my wife and I went to Yellowstone National Park. I remember when the kids were little. My wife and I used to go to Disneyland. We take the kids. We don't want to hear all that. That is a killer right off the bat, okay? When you're first getting to know a woman, first starting to date her, she wants the attention on her. She does not want to hear about the life and times of you and your ex. That is the quickest way to kill somebody, or to kill something going between you two. And one of the other things that is a real big turnoff is if you are still living in the house or home, apartment, whatever it was, that you shared with your ex. And I'm talking, I guess this is particularly if you were married, because of course, when you're single, you're going to be having a lot of relationships, maybe, what have you. But particularly if you were married, if you're living in a house that you shared with your wife, or say long-term partner, say it was many, many years, that is a real downer. I dated somebody who was still in that, or not somebody, I dated a couple people who were still in the house they shared with their wife, ex-wife. And I'll tell you what, that is a killer. You feel like you're in the shadow of somebody else. Every time I went into those houses, I felt like I was walking into her life, her surroundings, her whatever, because there was always something there that either she had put in there, done in there, what have you. Something from that ex. And that is an absolute killer. Let me tell you, that's just, it's just not a good feeling to walk into a home that belonged to another woman that you shared it with. It's just, you need to get the hell out of the house or home that you shared with an ex. That is just, it's like a living in the shadow of another woman, and it is not a good feeling. So that's another thing. Get out of that house. Get out of the home you shared with your ex. It's not good. The other thing is, don't be talking about all the problems you had in your marriage. Don't start your dating off with talking about, oh yeah, my wife, she was such a bitch, you wouldn't believe what. Don't do that. I guess that goes for both sides, women and men, but men tend to do that. I found, in dating, they tend to want to talk about their ex and what a bitch she was, or what a meanie she was, or how she didn't understand him, and blah, blah, blah. You put a negative tone to everything right off the bat. Do not do that. Talk about anything else. Talk about what's going on in your life, your job, your hobbies, what you saw on TV, the news, the weather, anything, and ask her. A woman wants you to ask her about her life. Don't just sit there and ramble on about yourself, because there is nothing that will bore or turn a woman off quicker than to have a man sitting there going on and on and on and on about himself. I have been with men like that, And in the middle of their conversations, I am thinking about, should I do laundry tomorrow? No, I think I'll wait till the weekend. Oh, I don't know. I think I'll go to a Target tomorrow. I mean, literally, I'm thinking of other things other than what he was saying because it was so boring. So do not sit there and just ramble on about yourself. Ask a woman about herself. Ask her how her day was. If she has kids, say, how are things going with the kids? And really listen and comment. Don't just let her say something and then you go, oh, wow. And that's it. I mean, wow, that's really caring, isn't it? And of course, this applies to men who are really looking for a relationship. If you're out there just to screw around, well, then you get what you get. But if you're looking for a real relationship, you got to show interest in that woman. You got to show interest in her life, in her family, in her kids. If she goes through a hard time, be there for her. Don't be one of those jerks that, if a woman's going through a tough time, then you kind of pull away. That's not being a man. That's being a coward and a wuss. And who wants you? Um, you need to be, the kind of guy, if you're looking for a real relationship, you need to show her that you really care about her and what she's going through. You need to show her that you'll be there for her. For instance, if she gets sick, you don't just sit there and say, oh, I'm sorry you're sick. Well, call me when you're feeling better. That's what you call a number one ass jerk. Who wants that? Nobody. That's the time you say, is there anything I can get for you? You want me to come over just to be, hang out with you, whatever. You need to show compassion and caring when the woman you're dating is going through hard times. Don't just be the great guy when things are going great. Anybody can do that. Anybody can be fun and jolly and be a great person while things are going well. It's when the tough times come along that you really can prove to a woman that you're a man. You care. You want to show her you want to be there for her. You want to show her that you can help her through things. That's very important. And especially like over 50, you get set in your ways, especially if you've been divorced a while or not with a partner for a while. You can get very set in your ways. And that applies to both sides, really, women and men. But again, this is to men. Um, you have to remember a woman, most women, they have, their feminine side. And if you have this bachelor pad or your house is set up like, the swing and whatever, obviously she's not going to be too impressed with that unless she's one of those type of people. And then that's not exactly who you're looking for a real relationship, guys. Um, you have to remember that if you're going to be having a woman over, say for dinner, or you invite her over for a drink or something, whatever, watch a movie, make it comfortable surroundings for her too. Like I say, first of all, don't be in the house you shared with someone else. That's a total no. But make it comfortable for her too. As she talks, listen to hear what she says she likes in life. Like, say you're just having a regular conversation and she casually says, oh gosh, yeah, I really love, we'll say ginger ale, okay? I love ginger ale. Well, if you invite her over, have the things that she really likes. Impress her. Show her that you heard her. Or if you decide to buy her a gift, don't buy her what you think she should like or would like. Listen to her. Hear what things she says she likes. Or maybe if you're at the mall or something and she says, oh gosh, that's so pretty, and you want to buy her a gift, remember those things. That really impresses a woman when you remember the things that she likes and you actually get those things for her. Don't go buying her things that just you think or someone else thinks she'll like. Um, Listen to her. And of course, you pick things that you eventually want to get her yourself. Of course, I'm not saying never use your own thoughts to say, oh, I think she'd love this. But I'm saying integrate it, If you want to get her something for birthdays or whatever, or just to get her, which is the most impressive gift, is when you give just because. Not because it's Mother's Day, birthday, Christmas, what have you, holiday. When you get a gift for a woman just because, that's very impressive. Um, so pay attention to her, listen to her, question her about her life. And I don't mean make it sound like a job interview, but like, so how was your day today? How are the kids? Oh, how are the grandkids doing? And then if she starts to talk to you about it, become a part of the conversation. Don't just sit there and listen like a zombie and then, oh, that's a big turnoff, guys. And, you know, depending on the type of person you are and what you're looking for, it's a good idea to be a nice, cleaned up, you know, clean cut guy. Don't look like you just, you know, walked out of a ditch from digging for 12 hours. Um, Especially on those first few dates, it's important to dress nice, you know, look impressive and look like you matter to yourself. Hold on a minute, guys. I'm losing light here. Get some more there. But you know, come off looking nice and clean cut and like you're somebody worth being around, not just some, you know, slump over there. And compliment her when you know you pick her up for a date. If she's, you know, just compliment her. Say, "Oh, your hair looks so pretty," or your, you know, your outfit that really looks nice on you. Something. Just compliment her. Women love to be complimented. But don't overdo it either. Learn a balance. You do it too much, it doesn't mean anything, and it sounds phony. You know, balance it, but do compliment her. Um, if you have her over for dinner, it's wonderful again. If you've listened to her and heard her favorite things she likes to eat, to bring them to her, you know, because as people, a lot of times we don't get the foods we love to eat because either they're too expensive or you just don't want to take the time to make them, whatever. Or if you take her out to dinner, take her to a place you know she'll love, or maybe surprise her with something new, you know, that you've heard her talk about. She says, "Oh, I'd love to try that. I've never tried that," and you take her there. Um, the whole key, guys, is especially after 50, you get very set in your ways and you're very bitter. If you're bitter from your past relationships, you're never going to find a good relationship. That's just the way it goes. So if you're hanging on to bitterness and anger from your last relationship, well, guys, you're going to get what you get. You're going to get women who are like, "Oh, forget it," and off they go. They're going to dump you. They don't want any part of that. You know, you need to let go of your bitterness and your anger and hurt and whatever else you went through from that last relationship. Let it completely go. Put it out of your head. Forget it. It's past. It's history. Um, and focus on your future. Focus on the future of finding somebody new if that's what you're trying to do. You're not going to succeed if you keep having that attitude of, "Oh yeah, women, they're just, oh yeah, she was such a bitch." You start talking to a woman like that, she's going to be feeling like that's probably what he'll be saying about me. I don't want to deal with this guy. You keep all that crap out. Keep it out and make a woman feel good about herself. Make her feel good about, make her feel that she's making you feel good. Okay? She's making you feel good. She's bringing out the best in you. That's a good thing. And be imaginative. Don't be some bore. I dated a bore who wanted to do nothing but go to a bar or a restaurant with the bar. That was it. That's all we did in a year. How stupid was I to stay with this guy? And this was a very wealthy guy, too. That's all we did. He'd call me up, "Hey, you want to go out tonight?" Be like, "Yeah." Go to a bar. "Hey, you want to go out next Thursday?" "Yeah." Go to a bar or go to a restaurant. Sit at the bar. It was the most boring relationship on the planet. Have a little imagination. I'm not saying that you have to be planning trips to Paris and what have you, but have a little imagination with what you want to do. And if she tells you she really doesn't like to do a certain thing you suggest, don't be offended. Everybody's different. And remember, you get set in your ways, and so do women. There's got to be a compromise. So if you suggest, "Hey, let's go, I don't know, check something out," she says, "Oh, I don't really like that." Then say, "Well, so what would you like to do?" Don't get all offended like, "Oh my God, she didn't take my suggestion, so she's a bitch." Don't be like that because you will never, ever find a woman who wants to be with you if you carry that attitude. And once you're over 50, men tend to they kind of get stuck in their ways where it's like it's either my way or no way. Well, guess what? It'll be no way then, because that's not how you're going to attract somebody. So, all in all, you know, keep the exes out of the conversations when you're dating. Even when you get serious with each other, don't be bringing exes up. And if you have exes that are constantly interfering in your life, I can guarantee you, you're going to have problems with new relationships. If you've got an ex-wife who's calling you all the time, I'll tell you what, honey, you're not going to have a woman who likes that. That's a bunch of bull. Exes don't need to be calling all the time unless there is something regarding children that is very important. But if you've got an ex who's calling, "Hey, did you hear that he didn't get a good grade?" or "Hey this," or "Hey that," or "Hey that," well, a woman is not going to feel like she's the attention of that man. She's going to feel like, I'm just the second fiddle while the ex-wife is still in the picture all the time. That's a no-no. You know, you need to lay the law down with your ex and say, "Look, do not be calling me And don't give me, and don't, you need to be saying, don't be calling me all the time. I've got a new relationship and I don't want you calling me all the time anymore unless there's something regarding the kids and it's very important. Like one of them hurt themselves or, something like that. Otherwise, don't be calling for every little thing because it's not a good feeling. And for those of you who say, oh yeah, you can still have a great relationship, yeah, 1 in a million you can. But that's not the norm. Okay, and we're talking the norm. Some people can carry it off where they can keep in touch with the exes and the new person it doesn't bother them. That's very rare. I have been in a relationship like that where the ex-wife was calling all the freaking time every day and I couldn't stand it. It was like, why am I even here? And then the fights occurred because she would get mad and blah, blah, blah. It was a mess and I would never do that again. So you keep the exes out of the picture, and once you start becoming serious, you make it clear to the exes, you can no longer be interfering in my life anymore because I tell you what, it will ruin everything that you would try to achieve with somebody new, guys. Women don't like that. It's just not the norm. And if you want to bring up stars, well, stars that do this, they all end up divorced. So I guess that kind of gives you an answer as to how well that works. Um, so keep those exes out of the picture, guys, and focus on the woman you're with or you intend on maybe becoming serious with. Um, and a woman can tell, a woman can tell if a man is in it for the long haul or if he's just screwing around. And if you're the type to try to pretend that you're being in it for the long haul, but you're really screwing around, a woman will know and she'll dump you when you least expect it. So, guys, just use common sense. Show that you care about the woman. Keep the exes out of the picture. Move out of any home you shared with an ex-wife. I will say ex-wife or long-term partner. Like let's say you're with a partner for 20 years in a house. You don't want to be having that aura, or that whatever, that feeling of this being the home you shared with that person. It's just not good. I know. I've been there. Um, even if you had to move into an apartment, if you're in a home and you're like, oh man, maybe the most you can afford is a nice little apartment, that's better than being in the house you shared with your wife. It's just not a good thing, especially a bedroom. Oh God, heaven forbid that you're wanting some woman to come into your bedroom if things get to that point. And that's a bedroom you shared with your ex-wife, not a good thing. Not a good thing. So if that has happened to you, that you've dated somebody and all of a sudden they just kind of seem to vanish and you thought things were going great, but you're in the house you shared with your wife, well, could very well be that she thought, I don't like this whole feeling, this whole situation. So guys, over 50, don't be bringing up all the problems with your kids either. If you have kids that are having trouble, who doesn't? Everybody at some point problems with their kids. Don't constantly be bringing up all the problems. My son got arrested. My son, it could make it sound like, oh my God, what kind of family do you have? When in reality, it was maybe nothing more than the kid was being a jerk at 18 and got arrested. But if you start the conversations with all this horrible stuff, it's not going to look good for you. So leave that more serious stuff till you become really close and can share things. Maybe if she asks you, that's different. If she says, so do you have trouble with your kids? You might just briefly touch, well, he tends to, think he knows it all. You know how our kids are at 22 or whatever. Keep it light. And, don't bring all the troubles of the world and your ex-marriage and your ex-relationship and your children and your in-laws and your mom and dad. Don't bring all that into your conversations when you're dating because that's going to kill it for you guys. I'm guaranteeing you it's going to kill it. So keep it light, keep it as happy as possible, as positive as possible. Show interest in her. Show that you truly care. If this is someone you're thinking of getting serious with, do little things. Show her you care when she's sick or when she has a bad day at work or if things go wrong in her family and she calls you and tells you, God, my mom just, told me off or whatever. Show compassion. Don't try to give her answers on how to solve it, but show compassion. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm here for you. You want to go out, maybe get a break or, things like that are what women love to hear from a man. They don't want a man who does nothing but talk about himself, his hobbies all the time. Oh, I like to do this. I like to do that. I. You get in that I mode and a woman is going to be turned off like that. It's just not going to work. So you need to get out of that mode. If you're wondering why women seem to disappear from your life, you might check back and see what you've been like when you start dating. And even when you become serious, you have to be careful, because then you might think it's so comfortable that you can just go on about yourself. Boring. You gotta you gotta balance things. You gotta learn to balance things, because when you live alone, or you've been divorced a long time, or without a partner for a very long time, you can get in the habit of me, and you need to break that. You need to start including that woman in your thoughts and in your future and in your plans. Leave the past where it is, where it belongs. The past. That's why they call it the past. Don't. There's a little saying that says, "Don't let the past haunt the present, because it will ruin your future." And that's very true. So, guys, if you're having trouble finding somebody, or you're having trouble on the dating circuit, think about what you're doing, how you're treating them. Are you showing them respect? Are you showing them courtesy? Are you being a gentleman? Chivalry is not dead. For you men out there who think chivalry is dead, well, that's probably why you can't find a soul. Um, a woman still wants a little chivalry. Most women do. So that's a good thing to still have and carry and put out there. Don't forget that. That's an important one. So anyway, I just wanted to make a brief one, kind of a brief video on helping you single men, and I say over 50 in particular, because kids are grown and gone usually, most of them, and you tend to get set in your ways, and then you don't think about how you're behaving when you're with a woman. So there you go, guys. That will help you tremendously. Think about her, care about her, question her about her life, show compassion and caring, be there for her in the bad times particularly. That's when it's really impressive. And help her through struggles she may go through. Everybody goes through struggles, so show you're a man, a real man, and be a man. Don't be this wuss who, oh God, rough times have come, I'm going to disappear now. You're a coward then, and who wants you? So anyway, guys, men out there, this applies kind of to all ages, but again, I will repeat, after 50, late 40s maybe, because you just do. You get in your habits and you get in your ways after everybody's out of the house, and you forget to let a woman in, not only into your heart, but into your life and your home and your way of life. And that's very, very important. So you might give it a shot. Go back to your relationships. Look at how you've been. See if it was all about you. See if you didn't, show her she was important, because that's very important, to show that woman that she is an important person in your life, and that she is bringing out the best in you. Make little comments. Something as simple as, wow, when I see you, my world just feels better today. I just feel so much better seeing you tonight. Something that simple can impress a woman beyond words. So we will talk to you later, guys. I hope this helps you just a little bit, just kind of touched on things. So talk to you later, men. So have a good one. Bye-bye.